Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Radhe. Jaya Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Radhe. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jai. Are the only way by which one can obtain pure devotional service. I bow down to his lotus feet with great awe and reverence. Solution of material suffering and obtain the mercy of Krishna. My only wish is that my attachment to the lotus feet is perfection that fulfills all my desires. We open my heart and eyes with heart with attachment of love. He is my Lord, Lord of the world. From him I take great memory. By him ignorance is destroyed. Scriptures think of care.
My spiritual master, the ocean of mercy, all master, please, give us the shade of your good sweet, our fame to spread all those great realms. Infinite God.
Guru Charana Padma Kevala Kati Padma
Guru Charana.
Guru Charana Padma Kevala Kati Sadma Pando Mui Savadana Mate Pando Mui Savadana Mate Jahara Prasade Bhai He Baba Toriya Jai Jahara Prasade Bhai He Baba Toriya Jai Krishna Prapti Hoy Jaha Hoy Te Krishna Prapti Hoy Jaha Hoy Te Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitete Koriya Aikya Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitete Koriya Aikya Anakoriyo Mane Asha Anakoriyo Mane Asha Shri Guru Charane Rati Ese Utama Gati Shri Guru Charane Rati Ese Utama Gati E Prasade Pure Sarva Asha Jai prasade pure sarva asha. Jakudan dilo je jamne jamne Prabhu se. Jakudan dilo je jamne jamne Prabhu se. Divya Gyan Hriday Prakasito. Divya Gyan Hriday Prakasito. Prema Bhakti Jayate Avidya Vinasajate. Prema Bhakti Jayate Avidya Vinasajate. Vedigaya Haracharito. Vedigaya Haracharito. Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adama Janara Bandhu. Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adama Janara Bandhu. Lokena Tokera Jivana. Lokena Tokera Jivana. Aha Prabhu Kora Doya. Deo Mode Pada Chaya. Aha Prabhu Kora Doya. Deo Mode Pada Chaya. Ebija Kisiki Bhuvana. Ebija Kisiki Bhuvana. Srila Prabhupada Patita Pavana. Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Vishnupadaya. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Dora Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Abu Nityananda.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jaya Vishnupad Paramahamsa, Parivrajikacharya Ashtotara Sata Shishimana Divine Grace of Boy Charnar Vinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Anantakota Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Sikaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyamakunda Radhakunda Giri Govardhana Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dhama Ki Jai. Navadip Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Neelachala Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Dwarka Dham Ki Jai. ISKCON Vancouver Burnaby New Gokula Dham Ki Jai. Shishi Gornitai Ki Jai. Shishi Radha Madana Mohana Ki Jai. Shishi Radha Madana Gopala Ki Jai. Shishi Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Sudarshan Chakra Ki Jai. Gora Premanande. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Sankirtan Yagya Ki Jai. ISKCON Samstapaka BBT Samstapaka His Divine Grace of Boy Charnarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Jagakuru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON Christmas Marathon Ki Jai. Gangamaya Ki Jai, Jamuna Maya Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Samaveda Bhaktivinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga.
It's been working pretty well. The full Zoom.
Hmm?
Everything happening on Zoom right here. But the main speaker goes right in there.
Oh, okay. So that makes well. And I can see everybody here,
You can see at least 6 people.
every 6 people.
People have the camera.
That's a good motivation for them to put their camera on. They want to be seen, right? Hare Krishna. Not very many people stay for class, at least when I give class. Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Chanavallabha, Jaya Girivardhari. Jaya Gopi Chanavallabha, Jaya Girivardhari. Yashoda Nandana Vraja Jana Ranjana. Yashoda Nandana Vraja Jana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Vihari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha, Jaya Girivardhari. Yashoda Nandana Vraja Jana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Vihari. Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Vihari. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa, Parivrajikacharya Achtatara Sata Shishimada Divine Grace, Aboy Charnar Vinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Jagadguru ISKCON Samstapakacharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Anantakota Vaishnava Brinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Grantara Srimad Bhagvatam Ki Jai. Shama Beda Bhaktavinda Ki Jai. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 So we're reading from the Srimad Bhagvatam 10th canto, entitled the Sanam Bonam. We're on text 47, the Song of the Bee, and today's text is text 41. There isn't really much of a purport for text 41. It's more, as Radhika would say, a footnote. So we'll do 41, and then together we'll do 42, which has a longer purport. Not that it really makes any difference, because all of this section is very very advanced subject matter, and I find it very difficult to speak on this particular section of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So whether there's a good purport or not such a good purport, I don't think it makes much difference to me. In any case, we'll do that anyway. So text 41, Katamrati Vishay Gyanaha Priyascha Shitam Nanu Bandyeta Tad Vyakyar Viramais Chanu Bhajitaha. Sri Krishna is expert in all kinds of conjugal affairs and is the darling of the city women. How can he not become entangled now that he is constantly adored by their enchanting words and gestures? So, according to Sridhar Swami, each of these verses is spoken by a different gopi. And today's verse that we will do collectively, please repeat. Api smarati na sadhu.
Api smarati na sadhu.
Api smarati na sadhu.
Api smarati na sadhu.
Govinda prastute kvachit.
Govinda prastute kvachit.
Ghosti madhye purastrinam.
Goshti madhye purastrinam.
Kamya svaira katha tare.
Kramyaha svaira katantare.
Api smarati na sadho.
Api smarati na sadho.
Govinda prastute kvachit.
Govinda prastute kvachit.
Ghosti madhye purastrinam.
Goshti madhye purastrinam.
Kamya svara katantare.
Gramya svara katantare.
Api smarati na sadho.
Api smarati na sadho.
Govinda prastute kvachit.
Govinda prastute kvachit.
Ghosti madhye purastrinam.
Goshti madhye purastrinam.
Kamya svara katantare.
Gramya svara katantare. Api smarati na sadho.
Aratina sadho.
Govinda prastute kvachit.
Govinda prastute kvachit.
Goshti madhye purastrinam.
Ghosti madhye purastrinam.
Gramya svara katantare.
Vasam hare. Api smarati na sadho. Govinda prastute kvachit. Ghosti madhye purastrinam. Gramya svara katantare.
Api smarati na sadho.
Api smarati na sadho. Govinda Prastute Katit Gosti Madhye Purasrinam
Api smarati nasaro.
Api Smarati Nasado
Take vachit.
Govinda Prastute Kvachit
Gosti madhye parastrinam.
Gosti Madhye Purasrinam
Kontan katantare.
Gramya Svara Katantare Api Smarati Nasado Govinda Prastute Kvachit Gosti Madhye Purasrinam
Api smarati nasado.
Api Smarati Nasado
Take vachit.
Govinda Prastute Kvachit
Stimaje parastrinam.
Gosti Madhye Purasrinam Gramya Svara Kanhantare. On to those in Zoomland.
Nietzsche Shorty Mataji, would you like to chant the verse?
Sure. अपि स्मरति न साधो गोविन्दा प्रस्तुते क्वचित् गोष्ठिमध्ये पुरा स्त्रीणाम् ग्राम्या स्वैरकथान्तरे
Lucian Prabhu, would you like to chant the verse?
Api smarti nahasado.
Could just continue through.
Yeah.
Okay, is that okay
Good.
going? Okay.
Yeah, just chant it through.
Gosti madhye purastrinam. Ramyas parakatantare.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to chant the verse?
Hare Krishna.
Oh, yeah, Malati Mataji, please go ahead.
Api smaratina sado. Govinda prastute kvachit. Goti madhye purastrinam. Ramya sfera katantare.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to chant the verse? Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Is it, if we have a microphone for the, does it work?
He says it doesn't want that. Later on, does not want that.
Yeah, but no one in the kitchen can hear the questions. Nobody, if you make comments, nobody can hear. I think we should use it. Anyway, let's go on. Api,
Api.
moreover, Smarati,
Smarati.
remembers,
Remembers.
Naha, us, Sado,
Sadho.
O pious one,
A pious one.
Govindaha,
Govindaha.
Krishna, Prastute,
Prastute.
brought up in discussions,
Brought up in discussions.
Kvachit, ever, Goshti, the assembly, Madhye, within, Purastrinam,
Purastrinam,
of the city women,
of the city women.
Gramyaha,
Gramyaha,
village girls,
village girls.
Svara,
Vara,
free,
free.
Katha,
Ta,
conversation,
conversation.
Antare,
Antare,
during.
during.
The translation and purport by the empowered disciples of His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. O saintly one, does Govinda ever remember us during his conversations with the city women? Does he ever mention us village girls as he freely talks with them? Please repeat. O saintly one,
O saintly one,
does Govinda ever remember us
does Govinda ever remember us
during his conversations with the city women?
during his conversation with the city women?
Does he ever mention us village girls
Does he ever mention us village girls
as he freely talks with them?
as he freely talks with them?
And now the purport. The gopis were so completely in love with Krishna without selfish motive that even in their great disappointment, they never considered giving their love to another. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti interprets their feelings as follows. The gopis might say, surely Krishna has abandoned us because we deserve to be abandoned. Indeed, we are the most insignificant women in the world and have been rejected after having been enjoyed. Still, do we sometimes enter into his memory on account of some good quality of ours, or even because of something we did wrong? Krishna must speak very freely with the city women. He and they must sing, joke, make riddles, and talk about so many things. Does Krishna ever say, my dear city women, your sophisticated singing and speech is unknown to the gopis in my home village. They couldn't understand these things. Does he ever speak about us even in that way? Om Jnana Timanandasha Jananjana Shalakaya Chakshuran Militanjana Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. As born in the darkness of ignorance, my eyes are opened by the torchlight of knowledge. To the medium of my merciful spiritual master, I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Vandeham Shri Guru, Shri Guna, Shri Guru, Vandeham Shri Guru, Shri Yuta Parakamalam, Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha. Offer my respectful obeisances unto my spiritual master and unto all Vaishnav Gurus. Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam. I offer my obeisances unto Rupa Goswami, his older brother Sanatan, to the others, including Srila Jiva and Srila Rupa Goswami. Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Lord Nityananda, the Avaduta, unto Advaita Charya, unto Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Shri Radha Krishna Padansaha Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha. Offer my respectful obeisances unto Radha and Krishna and unto the gopis headed by Lalita and Vishaka. I offer my respectful obeisances unto His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, who is very dear to Lord Krishna, having taken shelter at his lotus feet in this world. Our obeisances unto you, O servant of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. You are kindly spreading the message of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu throughout the Western world, which is filled with voidism and impersonalism. Now, for my respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord, you're just like the desire trees, you can fulfill the desires of everyone, and you're full of compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. Offer my obeisances unto Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, unto Lord Nityananda, Advaita, Gadadhar, Shivas, and all those in the line of devotion to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Api smarati nasado Govinda prastute kvachit Gosti madhye parastrinam Gramya svara katantare. O saintly one, does Govinda ever remember us during his conversations with the city women? Does he ever mention us village girls as he freely talks with them? So now the gopis, they're addressing Uddhava. Uddhava came to Vrindavan with a message from Krishna, and he somewhat pacified the residents of Vrindavan, especially the gopis, Nanda and Yashoda. And in the message, Krishna is mentioning that he's always there with the gopis. And then he expresses how he's everything. And and he even says, and then when we had the rasa dance, even those gopis, they couldn't attend, but they were also present because they were thinking of me. And just by your thinking of me, I am present. So this is the general idea. So the gopis were feeling kind of a little bit, okay, that was pacified. Uddhava stayed in Vrindavan for several months, pacifying the residents on behalf of Krishna. And before that, the gopis were very disappointed with Krishna, that he just up and left them. They're just comparing them like birds. The birds will go to a tree that has fruit and they'll just enjoy the fruit. And then when the fruit is gone, they'll just leave the tree. There's no more fruit, so they go. Or sometimes in the case of a prostitute, a prostitute will appear to be very affectionate towards someone who has lots of money, but when their money is no longer there, then they abandon that. So the gopis are feeling kind of like this mood, Krishna has come, he's enjoyed with us, we've given him our heart, now that he's taken it, and now he's gone away. So they're feeling very despondent. And Radharani, this chapter is called the Song of the Bee, because specifically when Uddhava came and was initially speaking with the gopis, Radharani, in the mood of addressing a messenger of Krishna in the form of a bee, she was speaking in a similar way, and she was basically chastising Krishna. Krishna, you rascal kind of a person are you? They're heartbroken, so naturally they're feeling great lamentation. And then the bee, disappears momentarily. And then Radha is feeling very anxious because she's thinking, oh, now the bee is going to go and tattletale to Krishna and say what I said against him. But then the bee comes back and she's feeling, oh, Krishna is so kind. Even though the messages get to Krishna, he still comes back, is being represented by the bee. It's kind of interesting that the title of the chapter is the Song of the Bee, because there's a very small part of the chapter is the Song of the Bee. Most of it is, other substances. So the gopis are feeling this intense separation, and because they're feeling this intense separation, they have a sense of disappointment. And in the purport, the nice conversation that Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he's interpreting the feelings. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is one of the great acharyas within our lineage. Every morning for Mangalarti, we chant the Guru Astakam, the 8 prayers to the spiritual master, sometimes known as the samsara prayers, but it's not really the samsara prayers. We're not praying for repeated birth and death. Samsara means repeated birth and death, but that's the first line, right? Samsara dava, nana lila loka. Anyway, these 8 prayers are about the spiritual master by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So this is one of the many credits. And of course, as we're reading this section of the Srimad Bhagavatam, he's one of the main commenters that is being accessed by Srila Prabhupada initially, and now by the followers of Srila Prabhupada. When Srila Prabhupada was writing the purports for the Srimad Bhagavatam, there were different elements that were used. He used other editions, I think perhaps by Bhakti Siddhanta, and he was using commentaries by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakor, and he was including his own purports, his own realizations. And we mentioned this before, that these purports through the Srimad Bhagavatam are, Prabhupada called them his personal ecstasies, his personal ecstasies. When sometimes, you know, we say, well, you know, Krishna spoke directly to Arjuna. So it's easy for Arjuna to understand Bhagavad Gita, but we're not hearing directly from Krishna. We're hearing, you know, through the disciplic line from Krishna. The words are recorded, but we're not actually hearing directly from Krishna. So it's more difficult for us to understand the Srimad Bhagavad, or Bhagavad Gita rather. And in the same way, we may say the same thing about the Srimad Bhagavatam, how you know, Krishna is speaking originally, but we're not actually hearing directly from Krishna. But we are in a way hearing directly through the disciplic succession, through great acharyas such as Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakor. And this is one of the most important aspects of being qualified to actually understand the subject matter, and also to be able to speak on the subject matter, is that one has to be hearing from proper authorities, and those proper authorities is the disciplic succession. So, of course, we know what our disciplic line is. It starts with Krishna to Lord Brahma, Tene Brahma, Rita Adi Kavye. Krishna instructed Lord Brahma through the heart when Mother Bhumi, and that took the form of a cow, she was being exploited. So she approached Brahma. Brahma went to the ocean, the beach by the ocean of milk by Svetadvip, and then Krishna, to get guidance from Krishna, and Krishna imparted this knowledge to Lord Brahma. And then Lord Brahma, he imparted it to Narada, and then from Narada to Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva is a Shakti Vyesha avatar, incarnation of Krishna, specifically meant to write down the Vedic literatures, to write down the subject matter. Of course, not only Vyasadeva, but also coming through different disciplic lines, there are so many corollary realizations, such as the Goswamis, which are also coming within our line. The Goswamis have written unlimited number of books, especially Rupa, Sanata, and Jiva Goswamis. Nana, Shastra, Vichar, Limpano, right? They scrutinizingly studied all the Vedic literatures and taking the essence. So that essence is compiled in different books, such as the Nectar of Devotion, Nectar of Instruction, Sri Ishupanishad, not the Ishupanishad, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which Prabhupada translated as the Nectar of Devotion. And in the Nectar of Devotion, in the latter chapters, which are sections which are divided into waves, the latter waves of the Nectar of Devotion, it talks about the different relationships, the different rasas. Some of the rasas are compatible rasas, like happiness and conjugal. Some of them are incompatible. Some of the rasas are incompatible. Ghastliness and conjugal, for instance, are considered incompatible. And I remember hearing from Jayadvaita Swami, and he, because he was actually, you know, listening and writing the Nectar of Devotion. And he wrote to Srila Prabhupada and asking about which ones were compatible and which ones weren't. And so what is compatible with Das? And Prabhupada wrote back, he said, Das, or servitudeship, is compatible with all the rasas. There's service in all the rasas. And so anyway, in this way, there are many different flavors of relationships. And here in the 10th canto, we're hearing particular relationships with the gopis in the mood of separation. And that same mood of separation is there with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, with Lord Chaitanya. Asli Shiva Padamratam Tumam, right? I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he will remain so even if he handles me roughly by his embrace, or he makes me brokenhearted by not being present before me. He'll always remain my worshipable Lord unconditionally. And this is the mood of the gopis. You know, they're saying, well, you know, Krishna now he's with the sophisticated women of Mathura, the city women. They're sophisticated, they're charming, they're beautiful, they dress in nice, you know, city fashions and like this, and we're just simple village girls. So he's with them, but still we can't give him up. We can't give up Krishna. He's still our worshipful Lord unconditionally. And of course, we know the reason why Krishna also expresses to the gopis the same conversation that Uddhava is bringing to the gopis. The reason that Krishna left was to intensify their love for him. Because when even in mundane relationships, when the beloved and the loved are separated, there's a sense of intensity. There's a sense of intensity. You're thinking of them very often, but when they're with each other, it's not as intense because they're just there. But when there's separation, then you remember, oh, how nice it is when you're together and things that you've done. So that sense of separation, what is it? Absence makes the heart grow fonder, or that Canadian singer, I forget his name. The Guess Who, the main singer of the Guess Who. Those who are, feeling good, even missing you. Feeling good, even missing you is one of the lines of one of his poems or songs. So there's that sense of separation. It actually intensifies, and you can think of the beloved more. So this is one of the reasons Krishna seemingly left. Seemingly left because he didn't actually leave. Krishna is always present. We always make this point. Krishna is always present wherever you're thinking of him. Whenever you're thinking of Krishna, whenever you're engaging in Krishna's service, talking about his name, his fame, etc., Krishna is actually present. He's present in his name. Unlike mundane, where the sound and the object and the subject, they're separate, but in the sense of the absolute, they're never separated. So when you're thinking of Krishna, then Krishna is present. And this is the point that Uddhava brings to the gopis as instructed by Krishna, that even the gopis that were not able to come and join the rasa dance, still they were experiencing the pleasure and the satisfaction and the joy of being present because of that flavor. There's three energies. There's Sandini, Samvit, and Hladini. Sandini is the eternal understanding of the aspect, eternal understanding. There's also three other energies. There's the energy of superior energy. Prabhupada breaks it down very easily. Superior energy, inferior energy, and the marginal energy. The inferior energy is material energy. All the energies are Krishna. Hare, all the energies are Krishna. So the inferior energy is material energy. We identify with matter. We identify with this temporary body. And then the superior energy is the living entity, which we are, the spiritual energy. And then the marginal energy, kind of like in between, the marginal energy is the living entity is considered marginal because he can be influenced by either material energy or the spiritual energy. So the topmost experience of spiritual energy is known as the Hladini Shakti, or the pleasure potency. And that pleasure potency is Radharani, or the foremost. And from Radharani, all the expansions of, there's three categories of expansions from Radharani. There are the gopis, which are the foremost. There are the Lakshmis, the goddesses of fortune, which, by the way, the gopis are all goddesses of fortune. And then there are the queens of Vrindavan. So, and all those expansions are coming from Radha. So, and Radha is the personification of the pleasure potency, Hladini Shakti. Hladini Shakti is only experienced through bhakti. The Sandini potency, the eternal understanding, it can be understood as the basic foundation, eternality, where this eternal spirit soul. That is the Brahman realization, eternal spirit soul. And then there's the Paramatma realization. That is the Sambit, knowledge. Krishna is situated in everyone's heart. That is the knowledge principle, or the Paramatma realization, Sambit. But Hladini is the pleasure potency, which can only be experienced through an exchange, a reciprocation with Krishna, with Krishna's friends, Krishna's devotees, or the living entity with another living entity. Now, in the material world, everyone is searching for this Hladini Shakti. Everyone is looking for pleasure. That's because it's a constitution of a living entity to look for pleasure. Anandamaya Vyasa. We're pleasure seekers by nature. We're natural enjoyers. So we're looking for that pleasure. But because we're under the influence of the inferior energy, the external energy, then we don't actually get that pleasure. And if there is some pleasure, then shashvatam, it's temporary, and it's very limited. But on the spiritual platform, that spiritual pleasure is intensified. And how do we connect? How do we connect to that Hladini Shakti? Sometimes Srila Prabhupada has said that the spiritual master is a manifestation of that Hladini Shakti. Because the spiritual master, bona fide spiritual master, he engages you in devotional service. And it's only through devotional service can that flavor, that ecstasy, that enjoyment be actually realized and experienced. And I think every devotee has experienced at least a drop of that Hladini Shakti, even just a drop of it. Why is it that we continue to engage in devotional service? Why is it we continue to engage in chanting the holy name? Why is it that we continue to engage in association with devotees? Because there's that taste. It's only there in devotional service to Krishna. So in the case of going back to the case of the gopis, they're experiencing this Hladini Shakti to the highest degree, and they can't give up Krishna, not even for a moment, right? Yugaitam nimishena chakshusha parisharitam shunyaitam jagat sarvam Govinda vira hename. Oh Govinda, feeling your separation, I'm considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Just one moment. It's like, feels like a long time. And this is, from a mundane point of view, this is the nature of relativity. Relativity, when you're enjoying something, time goes really quick. But when you're not enjoying something, time goes very slowly. If you're waiting for a bus and it's raining and the bus is, 5 minutes, you're waiting 5 minutes, that 5 minutes can seem like an eternity. But on the other hand, if you're waiting for a bus and you're talking with somebody and you're having a nice exchange, then that 5 minutes seems to go by in moments. So in the case of the gopis, that one moment, labhamata, that one moment seems like 12 years or more in the absence of Krishna. The gopis, we mentioned this many times, the gopis, they criticize Lord Brahma that, what kind of a creator are you? Because when we blink for that, fraction of a second that we blink, we can't see Krishna. So, what kind of a mistake is this? And the other thing is, he only gave us 2 eyes. Why only 2 eyes? I mean, why can't we be like Lord Indra? Lord Indra had his whole body covered with eyes. Of course, there was a reason because of an offense that he made, and I won't get into that pastime. But his eyes were something else before they were transformed into eyes. So, why couldn't you give us many, many eyes like Lord Indra? Then we can constantly see Krishna with so many eyes. Just like Rupa Goswami, he's describing the holy name is so sweet because the holy name is Ladini. The holy name is non-different than Krishna's enjoying Ladini Shakti, is enjoyment. The pleasure potency is the holy name. Krishna is present in his name. Krishna is the enjoying feature. I mean, he's the enjoyed. Excuse me. We're the enjoyed, but we enjoy the relationship with Krishna. So when we chant the holy name, Rupa Goswami, his tasting the holy name and my tasting the holy name is completely different level. Rupa Goswami says, when I chant the holy name of the Lord, I desire millions of tongues just so I can chant the holy name. And when I hear the holy name enter into the ear, I desire millions of ears. Who can claim to have that kind of desire when it comes to chanting the holy name? But Rupa Goswami, this is his expression. This is his realization. So because Krishna and his name are non-different. The gopis are longing for Krishna at every moment. So in this mood of the gopis, they're a little upset. It's like, well, no, Krishna is with the city women. You could say maybe they're even a little jealous. And then they're just putting themselves down. It's like, well, why would Krishna want to be with us anyway? We're just simple village girls. What do we know? Now he's with the sophisticated women of the city. But still, does he remember us? They're concerned that Krishna, just if he can remember them, would make them feel good. Confirmed. Just if they can remember, if Krishna can remember us, that would make us feel good. And this is the mood that's being expressed here by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur about how he's interpreting. Well, I wouldn't say interpreting. What's the word? Yeah, interprets. He's interpreting their feelings with a high level of realization. It's not just some speculation. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So. Surely Krishna has abandoned us because we deserve to be abandoned. Sometimes as devotees, we have the same feeling. Though. Sometimes it's like Krishna, we're absorbed in Krishna's service, or sometimes we're engaged in Krishna's service and we're kind of relishing that. And then sometimes it's like we don't have that opportunity to do service. Krishna, what have I done? I must have done something to deserve this. You're not allowing me to engage in your service. Or even if you are engaged in the service or you're chanting his holy name, Krishna, why is it such a struggle to chant your holy name? Why is it such a struggle to do service? Why am I not feeling the spontaneous love that's supposed to be there? Have you abandoned me? What did I do wrong? Then we kind of we start to self-introspect, see, what did I do wrong? Did I make an offense to somebody? Making offenses to Vaishnava can immediately kill one's taste for the service, one's taste of Ladini Shakti. Just like the example, I think, was Rupa Goswami was absorbed in Krishna's Leela. He was actually witnessing Krishna's Leela. I know we all know this pastime. And he was watching Krishna with Radharani, and Radharani wanted a fruit from a tree. So Krishna reached up to the branch of the tree and pulled it down for Radharani to grab the fruit. And Radharani held on to the tree branch. And when she was holding on to the tree branch, Krishna let go of the tree. And because she's lighter, she went flying up in the air. And Rupa Goswami was witnessing this. He was actually witnessing this pastime, and he started to laugh. He thought this was very amusing. But simultaneously, there was this Brahmana Vaishnava who had a quirky type of walk. He walked in a kind of an unusual way, very peculiar. And he just happened to be walking close by in the vicinity of the vision of seeing Rupa Goswami. And simultaneously, Rupa Goswami is witnessing this wonderful pastime and laughing. But that Vaishnava Brahmana walking by, he was taking offense, thinking Rupa Goswami is laughing at the way I'm walking. And therefore, he felt offended. And as soon as that Vaishnava Brahmana felt that way, Rupa Goswami lost his ability to be witnessing the Leela of Krishna. So he expressed this to Sanatana Goswami. And Sanatana Goswami said, well, you must have offended somebody. So think of who you could have offended. And Rupa Goswami is thinking, I don't really know what he was thinking, but he indicated that he didn't recall offending anybody. So then Sanatana Goswami instructed him, well, this is what you do. You have a feast and you invite all the residents of Vrindavan. And the person who doesn't show up, that will be the person who probably that you offended. Right? It's like when you offend somebody and then you have a program and you invite everybody, and that person feels offended. They don't want to attend, so they don't attend. So this is the idea that Sanatana Goswami gave to Rupa Goswami. So he did that, and sure enough, that one Vaishnava Brahmana didn't show up. And then Sanatana said, he's the person you probably offended. Just like knowingly and unknowingly, we make offenses, right? That's why we offer our obeisances, to each other, because please forgive me of my offenses, knowingly or unknowingly. It's like mistakes. Just as the Gita says that smoke comes from any fire, there's always some smoke. Similarly, every endeavor, there's some mistake. So similarly, there's always some offense, knowingly or unknowingly. There's always some offense. So therefore, we offer obeisances to devotees. Please forgive me of offenses, knowingly or unknowingly. And then the more dull-headed we are, the more unknowingly the offenses we commit, the more, I guess you could say, refined and purified, the more we become aware, the more gentlemanly we become. This is one of the characteristics of a pure devotee. Prabhupada says he's a perfect gentleman and lady, perfect gentleman, because they become very refined and sensitive to others. So you make an offense. So this was the case. And Rupa Goswami, so what did he do? He went and offered forgiveness, begged forgiveness. And the Brahmana Vaishnava, well, that's one of his most notorious characteristics is forgiveness, right? So if he gave Rupa Goswami, and everything was settled, and Rupa Goswami again was able to progress in his devotional life. Sometimes when we commit an offense, it interrupts our devotional advancement so much that we give up certain aspects of devotional activities that we do regularly. And of course, the offending of a Vaishnava is considered the mad elephant offense. It's the first offense against chanting the holy name. So when you offend devotees, then you start to lose the taste for chanting the holy name, because it's one of the offenses against chanting the holy name. So here, Krishna, the gopis, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he's saying that surely Krishna has abandoned us because we deserve to be abandoned. Indeed, we are the most insignificant women in the world, and we have been rejected after having been enjoyed. Excuse me. Still, do we sometimes enter into his memory on account of some good quality of ours, or even because of something we did wrong? Krishna must speak very freely with the city women. He and they must sing, joke, make riddles, and talk about so many things. Does Krishna ever say, my dear city women, your sophisticated singing and speech is unknown to the gopis in my home village? Does he even remember us in his home village, even in a critical way? Does he ever speak about us even in that way? Hare Krishna. Excuse me. Any questions, comments? Nita Ramprabhu. You have to speak up. I have poor hearing. No, thank you. Thank you for your kind offer. It's a little muffled. My ears are only can hear a certain frequency and a certain volume. Oh, that'll help. Thank you. You can just call me Prabhupada sitting at my lotus feet.
Do I need this? Maybe they can just hear me.
Yeah.
So I wanted to, you were saying about how one can't understand Radha without bhakti, right? And I wanted to read something from the Nectar of Instruction, where it's Prabhupada points to not only like the realizations that are exclusive to bhakti, but our lineage in particular, where Prabhupada says that presently there is a large lake known as Radhakund. Srila Rupa Goswami has given much stress to Radhakund because of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's desire to find it. Can you hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
Who then would give up Radhakund and try to reside elsewhere? No person with transcendental intelligence would do so. The importance of Radhakund, however, cannot be realized by other Vaishnava sampradayas. Nor can persons uninterested in the devotional service of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu understand the spiritual importance and divine nature of Radhakund. So it's not even like, certainly without bhakti one can't approach Radha, but even our lineage has a particular relationship with Radhakund, like with Radharani. And so there's a special connection there that we have that isn't even present in other Vaishnava sampradayas, which I thought I would just say in support of what you were saying. I have another thing I wanted to say, but you want to comment on that?
No, it's a perfect comment in itself. Actually, I do have a comment. It's a little related. It's like Krishna's a little strict. He says, Sarva Dharma Parityajya, give up everything, become my devotee. But Radha is more soft-hearted. And if you go through Radha to Krishna, then the opportunity is easier. Just like the grandfather is kinder than the father. So Prabhupada used to say to his disciples, you can pray to Bhakti Siddhanta because he's kinder than the father. So in the same way, we can, go to Prabhupada in that sense. We don't jump over our present spiritual members. Don't jump over, but at the same time, Prabhupada can be more merciful. Grandfather can be more merciful than the father. And going through Radha to Krishna, Radha is more kind, soft-hearted.
Yeah.
Not exactly related, but it brought that thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Special mercy. Okay, so the other thing was about what you were saying about the pastime. Where was it Sanatana Goswami lost his vision of that pastime because he made this offense? And that was it Sanatana or Rupa Goswami? Anyway, whichever one you said. The pastime where he was watching Krishna lower the branch for Radha. And
Right.
then,
Right.
So.
Oh, wasn't Rupa?
No, I don't know. I was,
Oh.
this is what I'm referring to. In
Okay,
my
okay,
comment, is
okay.
that you were tying that into our own experience and sometimes how we feel disconnected from devotional service because we may make some offense and then, you know, we may feel somehow things happen where we somehow lose our enthusiasm or feel somehow discouraged. So, and I was thinking about Vrindavan, you know, in that setting where obviously there are very elevated Vaishnavas and basically pure devotees. And then the sensitivity of that environment would allow a devotee to be able to easily rule out other causes, because what else could cause my lack of enthusiasm other than some offense? Because here I am in Vrindavan after all, I'm amongst pure devotees. I think though at the same time, and I'll comment on this and you can, I'd like to hear your comment, is that we are in Vrindavan in one sense, like because the temple is like an embassy of the spiritual realm, but we're also, you know, devotees at different stages of development and basically suffering from the modes of nature in different ways. For example, in our community, there's very little awareness of mental health. And I find, this is my personal assessment, you could say. And so sometimes we find that there are devotees here and they're clearly suffering from mental health issues, or just devotees who have developed difficult dispositions toward others. And we may think that you know, after feeling discouraged by these devotees in various ways, that I must have made some offense. So there was a devotee who was speaking to me about such a case just yesterday. And the devotee was thinking, well, maybe Krishna is trying to test my patience. No, my tolerance. And I said, maybe Krishna is trying to test your intelligence. You know, like it's not just patience that's being tested. We also have to be able to take a step back and understand things that like we need to be able to make distinctions. And that's one of the symptoms of a Madhyamadikari, someone who can understand that there are different people at different stages and their behavior is impacted accordingly. And therefore, as a Madhyamadikari, I decide who to associate with and who to not. Not that I disrespect others, but you know, in order to preserve my bhakti, I choose to gravitate towards people of like mind and who care for me. And so I made a point of this because there is this mood sometimes where we just have to be humble and everything must be my fault, you know. And so I think in a community such as ours, there's other elements that are also at play. And to be mature devotees, we need to rise to the occasion and recognize this and use our intelligence, not always our tolerance and patience. So how would you respond? I'll just sit back over there.
Hare Krishna. I don't know if I can respond to that. That's a very very good point. Excellent
Very,
point.
very depressing point.
Depressing. Okay.
Yeah, I'm playing the part. Very depressing to hear that so many devotees are mentally disturbed and etc. And that is exactly correct. It says in the beginning, our movement is almost ruined by crazy people who join the movement. I'm sure all of you are aware of that. Because anybody could move into the temple, just straight off the street into the temple. It created chaos.
I was making a slightly different point, but
No, of course not. Now everybody lives outside, and it's mostly, it's completely different, people who join these days. But still, these issues are there: mental illness, depression, etc. So we don't have to think that everything is our fault. If something goes wrong or someone doesn't treat us properly. That's a good point that Nitai Ram was making.
People join for different reasons, right? Those in want, those are who distressed, those are a little inquisitive, and those are looking for the absolute. You can actually divide the varnas. Those in distress could be considered like the Shudras. Those who are want, they're like the Vaishyas. The inquisitive could be the Brahmins, the Kshatriyas, and those looking for the absolute could be like the Brahmins. So when people are suffering and they come across, they have some pious credit from previous activities, they have to have some pious credit, then they can come and take the Krishna consciousness, but they don't necessarily always stay. So yeah, people who are suffering due to social ills would be one of the reasons that they could come to Krishna consciousness, regardless of what those social ills may be. Communication or mental concerns or whatever. Yeah. So I really appreciate Nitai Ram's comments. And but and Krishna, he gives us the intelligence. He can give us the intelligence. So for a sincere devotee, Krishna will give us the intelligence on how to look and appreciate or disappreciate or handle a particular situation in certain individuals. We get some information from Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu along the same lines. That Lord Chaitanya Junior Haridas, he on more than one occasion, he actually told devotee to leave. No, I don't want to see you. I don't want to have you come in my association because of their misbehavior. And sometimes our so-called compassion is misplaced. We want to be compassionate to somebody, and yet they continue to act in an inappropriate manner. And out of compassion, we try to
accommodate
or nurture. When in actuality, the best cure is to have them be abandoned, for lack of a better term, because such devotees, or so-called devotees, however you want to define it, they themselves will be jeopardizing their own spiritual life by being in an attitude of finding fault or committing Vaishnava aparad. And the more they do that, the more detrimental it is for their spiritual life. So it's best to disassociate them from the community, or disassociate them from the society of the devotees. And that's sometimes it's difficult to take that step. And then when you do, then there's retaliation and there's criticism, and what kind of a person are you? What kind of a devotee are you? But that's the proper thing to do, and we do have examples of that. Srila Prabhupada, on the other hand, he never actually he actually did instruct, right? He said, no lazies, no crazies. That was, it's a common statement. So, even he said, yeah, we have to use our intelligence. We tolerate up to a certain point. And humility can be false humility as well. In the name of being humble, it could just be a sense of insecurity, and it comes across as being humility. Or on the converse, we can be very confident, devotees confident, but that confidence can turn into arrogance. And sometimes it's difficult to determine, is the person confident or is he arrogant? Is he humble or is he insecure? So those balances are sometimes not so easily defined. So
anyway. And I think that's why it's nice that Nitai Ram has some insight into this, and that he studied in that field, So he can identify much more easily than many of us what is the mental state of this or that person. So we really appreciate his presence here. Very much so.
Absolutely. I confer with that. She's just
Yes,
ahead.
thank you.
I want to comment on what
You want to use the microphone for those who can, and speak a little loud for my benefit, please.
wanted to
Yes.
I wanted to comment on what Nityananda mentioned. And one thing that I remember is my Guru Maharaj used to always say, he always says that to assess yourself. And in assessing, he says that you have to see where you're at in your devotional life. What are the challenges you're facing personally? What are you working on with this holy grail? Sometimes we relate this only to our material life, everything, but not only Krishna conscious life. But when looking at it, what are the struggles you're having? Where are you at actually benefits you, and having a goal really in devotional. Not really, oh, I want to do it tomorrow, I'm going to do this, that, but really like practicing this kind of goal to it. When looking at mental health and looking at these challenges and what role you're playing with the community and being there, I think assessing yourself really helps to whether you're acting intelligently or whether you're being, just tolerating and being intolerant or accepting that you have to be compassionate and all that. So there has been I think assessing yourself is I think can make the difference between that. That's what I'm.
Yeah, we should always have self-introspection, to always be checking. And again, a devotee who's falsely proud will think they're more capable than they actually are. And then those devotees who are falsely humble will think they're less capable than they actually are. So we have to, come to a balance to figure out, well, where exactly are we at? How is our relationship with other devotees? Where do I stand? And that's kind of like the Madhyama Adhikari. He discriminates, as Nitai Ram Prabhu was saying. He discriminates between the neophyte, the advanced devotee, and where do I fit? Where do I fit in? Of course, the bottom line is that we're servants to all devotees. We're servants to the advanced. We serve them, menial servants, you could say, taking their direction. And we're serving those who are less advanced by helping them and giving them guidance and trying to. But one thing is we have to also be able to take guidance and direction from others. On Srila Prabhupada's disappearance, I read this little anecdote where it was Prabhupada, I forget it may have been, I can't remember what the event was. Maybe someone else can remember. And nothing was prepared properly. And Prabhupada was guiding his disciples and getting a little bit assertive about it. And seemingly from those who are not aware of Vaishnava emotion were thinking that Srila Prabhupada is getting disturbed. So this one new devotee, who was a hippie off the street, who was in the association with the devotees for a few days, the devotees kept telling them, just chant Hare Krishna. You're feeling disturbed, just chant Hare Krishna. So Prabhupada was, in his eyes, he was thinking that Prabhupada was completely disturbed. And so he said to Prabhupada, this hippie off the street says to Prabhupada, just chant Hare Krishna. And what did Prabhupada do?
Chant Hare Krishna.
He picked up his bead bag and started chanting Hare Krishna. So he took instruction from. So we also have to be, in a position where we can actually feel humbled enough that we can take instruction from someone who, it's not like, oh, who are you to tell me what to do? When Prabhupada was handing out back the Godhead magazines, some person said, you should print books because magazines people throw. Prabhupada took that as a direct instruction from his spiritual master, just some stranger on the street. So we have to, I know I'm going a little bit off the mark of your point, but we have to also be able to take instruction from anyone, basically. And not just because somebody gives us instruction, it's the correct instruction. We have to make sure it's in line with Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. But yeah. Divya Bhakti.
Yeah, I think you both have made such excellent points, and you as well, Jacob. There's something called the Four Agreements. I don't know if any of you have heard of that. It's
The four
agreements.
agreements.
So there's something called the Four Agreements, and it has, just sort of in summary, it gives you ways to live your life and deal with other people. And the first one is being impeccable with your words. Speak with integrity. To avoid using your words to speak against yourself as well as other people. So don't gossip, but also don't talk down about yourself. And then the second one, which I also find really helpful, is don't take anything personally. What other people do is nothing to do with you. They have their own reality, and there are things that are going on with them, and it is not because of something that you have done. And also, don't make assumptions. So like you're thinking that something is that they're behaving in this way because of something you've done or because of something crazy, whatever. Make sure that try and have the courage to speak and to ask questions and find out just what is going on. Don't make assumptions about things. And I'm finding that a lot of times these different things are if we could abide by these as devotees, I think we might have a easier time dealing with each other. And the last one is just always do your best. And from day to day, your best can be different. If you're not feeling well, or if you are feeling well, your best is different. So be gentle with yourself and recognize when your best isn't as good as you might like it to be. So, and as I say, I just really feel like these are the kinds of things that when we're dealing with other people, then we can keep these kinds of things in mind, then and try to practice them, then we would likely get along a lot better.
Wow. And these principles are coming from
It's a book called Four Agreements. It's Toltec philosophy, and it's a little book.
What is it called? We can't hear anything.
The Four Agreements.
The Four Agreements.
And I came across
But who is writing it? Who's the author, please?
I came across it quite a long time ago, and during the time when I was really having a hard time with work, I was really felt like I was being pushed down by people, and just so I got to the point where I found this, and then I printed out the Four Agreements and just had it right where I could see it at work, and just kept, and I would look at it. If I was starting to feel like I was being pushed down by people, then I would look at it and just try to keep that in mind for myself. Don't gossip, but be nice to yourself, speak nicely about yourself as well. Those kinds of things, and not taking things personally. If somebody's being nasty to you, it's not because of something you've done.
necessarily.
But the thing is that if you are, following all these other things, then it's less likely that it's going to be the case.
Don Miguel Ruiz.
Yeah.
I read it.
Yeah.
I read it.
Yeah. And I really like that.
Wow. Jai. Divya Bhakti has an equivalent master's degree in psychology, so qualified. Anyone in Zoom land have any comments or any questions?
Hare Krishna.
Oh yes, Hare Krishna Malti.
Thank you so much for such a wonderful class. I feel like every time I sign on to listen to one of your classes, it just fits so well with everything in my life. So thank you very much for the great class. Hare Krishna.
As Mother Radhika always points out, and it's an absolute genuine fact, is that it's the audience that allows us to transmit. If you have a good receiver, then the transmission will take place. So it's because of your enthusiasm and attentive hearing and others that we're able to speak whatever we're able to speak. So thank you. Thank you for your kind words of encouragement, and thank you for being a recipient. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. One last comment along with what Malati said. Thank you, Nitaram Prabhu, for starting this conversation. I think as a team, that is our goal, to open a dialogue and just start from there. So ensure that every devotee, everyone that's coming to temple, no matter initiated, not initiated, I don't know if you remember last Sunday when I was speaking, I made this point that we, just like in workplace, we have this no discrimination policy and other policies. We as a congregation should follow those, whether they're written rules or just the norms. As a congregation, we can start consciously practicing respecting everyone that's coming to the temple, whether they're in the deity room, kitchen, in the temple, anywhere, serving prasadam. I think the dialogue should open, the conversation should open, and we should all have open communication about how we treat each other. I think that is our goal as a team.
I agree. Lord Chaitanya didn't make any discrimination. Srila Prabhupada didn't make any discrimination. However, if there's inappropriate behavior, then it has to be addressed. And in one sense, someone may interpret that to be discrimination, but that's just intelligent communication. Thank you, Nitya Priya.
Nitya Kishori.
Nitya Kishori, sorry.
Hare Krishna.
I know it's Nitya Kishori. I don't know why I said that. Anyway, thank you. Anything else? Okay, we'll finish here. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Gaura Premanandi Hari Hari Bo. So this evening is the Sunday Feast program. Nitya Ram Prabhu, would you like to announce the Sunday Feast program?
Sunday feast. Night only.
I was thinking you'd say something a little more than just that.
What's that?
Sunday Feast starts at 5:30. And I'm just going to pull up the list here of what we're going to look forward to. The Sunday Feast starts at 5:30, and the Kirtan will be, the Gora Kirtan will be led by Keshava Leela Prabhu. He's that devotee who was playing Mridanga very nicely while Nitai Ram was leading Kirtan this morning. The Srimad Bhagvatam class will be given by Nanda Gopal Prabhu, and a very intriguing topic, the fascinating mind. The 6:45 Kirtan will be led by His Grace Jagapati Prabhu, and Prasadam will start serving at 7. Outside, Kirtan will continue, and then 8 o'clock we'll have the Sanya Arti Kirtan by Shakshi Devi, and she's got a really nice angelic voice. So we've got a nice lineup for tonight for the Sunday feast program. So please join us. Hare Krishna. Oh, Krishna. Always leave every Sunday, always leave this here for the Sunday feast. Oh, that's great. Just to keep in mind. It's not always there. Sometimes somebody takes it, but I always leave it there. Thank you. Oh, that's.
Those are good ones. I don't think they can hear you there.
They can't hear.
I don't think they can hear you on Zoom on. Let's see. The core part of our action. Is the core part of our action.